Hello everyone, this hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series. We're just beginning our unit on ethical business. So today is Doing Ethical Business Part 2. We're going to begin today by presenting some key vocabulary to enable discussion of ethical issues. We've generated some vocabulary yesterday just by looking at the very first image in our unit and discussing what that image had to do with possible ethical business issues going on in the world today. So we're going to take that further by reading a text and picking out some of the key vocabulary that then we can use later on to help us talk about the issues in depth. Well, that's a bit about the class. Here's a bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words and phrases that you're learning. Use them as actively as you can so that I can correct you and give you lots of feedback. Finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. Well, I'm going to put our presentation on screen right here. All right, and I've actually got to I updated this, so I actually have to open it and download it. So while I do that, I'm going to open this on my computer and then download it. But we can start with what's on screen. Let me first say welcome back to Anna and Daniel. Nice to have you.
Hello.
Hello again. Hello again.
And let's say hello to Mauro. Welcome back, Mauro. How are you?
Hi, teacher. Well, very well. And you? What about you?
I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. I'll survive. I'll survive. Don't worry about me. I'll survive.
I'll be better.
Yeah.
Well,
I haven't woken up yet, but I'm getting there. Remember, it's an hour earlier here. So I'm going to download the new version of our presentation because I added some new slides to it. While I'm doing that, let me also give you the link. Remember, the links to the material are always
Hello.
John, are you there?
says, hello, can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Could you repeat, please? I couldn't hear you.
I think he's disconnected.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're waiting for him.
We have a problem again with connection.
Well, I think the problem is for John because is has just disconnected from the chat panel. Well,
Okay.
we're waiting for him.
Okay. Well.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm
Hello,
back.
Hello.
welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back.
I took a little holiday, but I'm back now. Okay. Everything's fine. All right. So let's get that presentation back on screen. There you go. All right. So in yesterday's class, what we did was generate some good vocabulary by just discussing the picture. Let me see if I can open our notes because I tried to do it and my computer just died for some reason. I guess I can't really open things in Google Drive while I'm having the Hangout. It seems like it doesn't like it. What I'm going to do to start off is just remind you what we did yesterday. Just a quick reminder, and you're going to see this in an exercise later. So I just want to read this for you to show you what you're able to achieve with a little bit of guidance. We looked at that picture. We went through 4 steps. Say what you see, guess about why you're seeing it, compare and contrast it to something you know, and offer a personal preference. Those were the steps. So looking at that picture, I just want you to listen to what we came up with as a group yesterday. Listen carefully. If you want to follow along, you can open the note to the links. But here's what we said. Well, this appears to be some sort of landscape up from the summit of a mountain looking down. It seems to be some mountains, there seem to be some mountains covered with white snow, but I also see some dark mountains in the distance without so much snow, but covered in mist. You know, I could also point out that we seem to be standing at the top of the mountain, even above the clouds, and that means that from up here, we can look out onto the entire mountain range and get a really good view. I suppose this picture has some connection with the current problem of climate change, because we're on the top of the mountain where we can see all the snow and ice, and recently I heard that due to global warming, the Antarctic ice is melting at an alarming rate, and this is said to provoke landslides and eventually cause rising sea levels. So I'd imagine that this picture is here to show us that we really need to have respect for nature. Take, say, landfills. This is a major problem all around the world and a clear example of unethical business. Whereas there are big mountains shown in the picture, natural ones, there are also big mountains of waste, plastic, industrial waste, all of which is very harmful to the environment. In this picture, we can see how beautiful real mountains are, so I think it really serves to remind us. So, if I were in this picture, I'd prefer being on the top of a mountain because it allows us to see our place in the world and to see the beauty of nature. So in a nutshell, that's a little bit about what I think about the picture. Okay, I've just taken some of the notes, some of the language, put it together into a quick summary, and there you go. So in other words, just by following a few steps, the ones that we used yesterday, and adding your comment, your content to those key phrases, it sounds like a very good and complete answer, something that you could use in an examination or just making conversation. It sounds pretty natural. I'm going to give you that text in an exercise where you're going to have to reinsert the key expressions and put things in the right order. Okay, so you heard it today. I'm going to give it to you as a homework where you have to reinsert things and put them in the right order. That will help you in the future be able to describe an image of your own. Okay, so now that we got some good key vocabulary, yesterday on page 5 we ended class with a discussion and we learned words like low environmental impact, alternative fuel source, being the exception versus the rule, evading responsibility, philanthropy, and getting recognized or recognition for service. So those were a few of the vocabulary words that were generated in our first part, which was, in the starting point, we talked about these 3 questions. What effect can positive or negative effect can companies have? Do you know of any companies that have social responsibility? And do you know of any companies that are noted for They're problems or ethical problems. Okay, today we're going to start the working with words section. That's the vocabulary section. I'd like to know, before we begin, what are some characteristics of an ethical business? This is a little bit of brainstorming you're going to start off with. Daniel, what would you say are some characteristics of an ethical business? What makes a business ethical? Remember, no right or wrong, just your opinion.
Yeah. The way to do well business for environment.
Let's call that the company's approach to business. Instead of way to do, let's say their approach. Daniel.
Approach. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. So a company's entire approach to business is what makes it ethical or unethical. Could you give a reason or example?
Always, I think in the big company, there's a policy to do things, approach, to approach.
Right. To take an approach.
To take an approach for be responsible with natural environment.
Okay, very good.
An example.
So, yeah, go for it.
Emission of CO2.
Emissions, right.
Reduce
so we call
emissions.
that reducing carbon emissions. Reducing carbon emissions.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Yuki, can you think of another approach a company could take to be ethical besides reducing carbon emissions?
Besides, maybe high awareness of perseverance of environment, like if it would be if it is a factory manager have to pay attention to the pollution of the environment. They have to avoid get out pollutive substances and emission of high oxygen. I can't remember. Hydroxygen. No.
Well,
what is the main reason of the global warming?
The carbon.
Carbon
dioxide, yeah.
Carbon dioxide. So the amount of emission of carbon dioxide is one of the main things they have to pay attention to.
Let's say instead of pay attention to, let's say be
aware.
Be aware, sure. You can say be aware or be concerned with. Environmental impact. Earlier we said environmental impact. This would be a good place to say it because we're talking in general. Being concerned with or being aware of environmental impact or the environmental impact of the company. So just generally being aware of it so that you're not, just having a conscience about it. So being aware of the environmental impact, for example, carbon emissions. What about something related more to money? So let me go around and give everyone a chance here. So Ishmael, let me ask you this one. Thinking about fairness when it comes to money. What do you think? What do you think an ethical business might do, an ethical company might do in terms of just fairness, fairness with its financial dealings? Can you think of an example?
Yeah, yes, John Eric. Generally, big company CEOs think that they earn more and more money
Right.
only for their company and for yourself.
Sometimes 10, 20, 30 times what the lowest level worker makes. It keeps going up.
But I think it is not right, and it is a defective decision because we are all in the same boat. And if we think only ourselves, at the end, when the boat sinks, we are going to die or
We're going to
drown.
go down together. We're all going to go down.
And I want to give an example, John Eric.
So
There
let
was
me just interrupt for 1 second. Let me just quickly interrupt. So what you're talking about is paying a fair salary. Am I right?
yes.
This one on the screen, paying a fair salary to employees. Okay, just making sure. What's your example?
Many textile businesses are going to China or Far East Asia.
Right.
Some companies get produced their product in this low payment or low paid countries.
Absolutely. Yep.
They don't care of the fabrics or people who work in that fabrics.
Not fabrics, but factories.
Factories. Some people are working in not so strong factories, and there was a collapse in
Bangladesh.
In Bangladesh, and many workers are were died under the factory.
Yeah, there was also a fire before that, a couple of years before. There was also a fire, if I'm not mistaken. There was a collapse more recently. And there were no safety measures. No one could get out of the building. So it's about maybe having fair conditions, paying a fair salary, having fair conditions at work. Not just fair, but safe, maybe. Safe is better. Safe conditions at work. All those things which go into ethical decision making. I agree, by the way, I agree completely. These are good examples. What I want to say is, being ethical, it's not just about the environment. It's also about how you treat human beings. That's why I wanted to bring up fairness. Anna, would you add anything to this list? So far on page 5, you could see reducing carbon emissions, being concerned with environmental impact, paying a fair salary, having safe conditions. Does anything else come to mind, Anna, for ethical behavior in business? Anything else, or any other examples come to mind?
I don't know. Sorry. I can be
Think
able.
about your job. Think about where you work. Is there anything that you would improve if you could? What do you do for a living, Anna?
I work as a civil servant for the law court, but nowadays, I am low sick.
Low?
Sick.
What does that mean? Sick? Ill?
Yes.
So you're on sick leave? Like you have maternity leave and we have sick leave. Maternity leave, when you're having a child, you can take time off. Sick leave, you take time off due to an illness.
Yes.
Ah, sick leave. being a civil servant in Spain, that
Yes.
should give you lots to complain about.
It's true, but
Exactly.
this subject is more difficult for me.
That's true, but think about all of those protests since 2011 or so. Think about all those protests in Spain and Portugal and all those demonstrations. What are some of the things that people want to change in the public sector? What are some unethical things that people want to change? Here, for example, we have austerity, right, in Portugal, but in Spain it's the same. What are some things that people are looking to change in terms of ethical behavior?
Well, I think there is a problem in atmosphere due to the carbon dioxide that emit the company. So
let's say environment instead of atmosphere. It sounds better. So there's environmental problems because of emissions.
Yes, the environment problem is due to emission carbon dioxide, which is produced by burning oil, gas, and coal.
Let me ask you a question. Being a civil servant, are you allowed to retire when you want to retire? Is the retirement age the same now as it used to be?
I don't understand, sorry.
Retirement is reforma.
Yes.
Because here they tried to change the retirement age. I think if I remember correctly, in Italy, they were trying to push it to, you had to be like 72. I don't know if it went through. 72. I don't know why I'm speaking Portuguese. But I'm just thinking of some reasons that people in the public sector might protest. One of them could be retirement, right?
Avoid all these toxins that company produce.
Yeah. It's true. Reducing emissions. It's true. But what I'd like us to do is to think about, all of us, to think about the types of business that we're involved in and how they, the reason is because there's more dimensions than just the environmental dimension. There's the human dimension too. That's why I'm mentioning retirement could be an issue. Retirements, fair pay. What about benefits? Has anyone noticed or, oh, look, there's Anton. Hello, Anton. I didn't see you come in. Has anyone had issues or been following issues about benefits being taken away? Because here, two things happen here. Maybe in Spain it's the same. The first thing is that people who are getting the retirement payments, Social Security payments that you live on, they had those payments cut drastically. So if you were earning 1,500 euros a month in retirement, well, not many people were, you had it cut. But if you were earning less, you also had it cut. So suddenly you had a reduction in your retirement money. Well, for some people, that could be the difference between having a place to live and not having a place to live, right? So reductions in retirement, here you get a 14th-month salary. Well, they cut one of the months. So that might sound like a luxury, but you have to remember the wages here are not very high. So cutting a month is equivalent to getting a major, what's the opposite of a pay rise? Pay rise and pay cut. Pay cut. That's what I wanted to say. Anton, where are you living? Are you in Spain as well?
Yeah, I'm living in Spain now.
That's right. But you're working in IT, is it? I can't remember.
Yes, it's a mixture of jobs. I'm trying to find a new job, and now I am doing all as I can.
Okay. So we were talking about what makes an ethical business, and we talked just about environment in the beginning, but
Yeah.
as well, fair pay, fair conditions, and then I was just mentioning some things I know about here in Spain and Portugal, like cutting benefits, cutting retirement, or getting a pay cut. So these are all things that might be considered unethical, places to cut money, that are unethical. So pay
Okay.
cut, or cutting benefits. You'll see all that vocabulary on page 5 of our notes, by the way. I'm keeping a list to help you in the future. Let me ask you another question. We're going to read about an ethical business, Patagonia. The question is, in what ways is this company an ethical company? What makes it ethical? How does it compare to the ideas we've already discussed? Okay, so Anton, I want you to get us started. Maybe we can all take one of these short paragraphs. Can you start us off on the paragraph 1 for our reason for being? This is a mission statement by the company Patagonia.
Okay. Uh, Patagonia grew out of a small company that made tools for mountain
Climbers. Repeat.
climbers. Okay.
Without the
First
B,
time.
no B. M like mom. Climbers.
Climbers.
Good.
Okay. Mountain climbing is still at the
Heart.
heart of our business, but we also make clothes for skiing, snowboarding, surfing, fly fishing, paddling, and trail running. All of these are silent sports. They don't require a motor or the cheers of a crowd. The rewards come from connecting with nature.
Okay, very good. So we're starting to get some reasons about why Patagonia considers itself an ethical business. Okay, let's follow along for now. Daniel, can you take the next paragraph?
Yes. Our values reflect a business that was started by a band of climbers
Climbers. Repeat.
climbers.
Without the B, no B. M like
Ah,
mom. Climbers.
climbers, okay. By a band of climbers and surfers who love wild and beautiful
Places.
places, who love wild and beautiful places. This means that we act responsibly and take an active part in the fight to repair the damage that is being done to the health of our planet.
Very good. And Ishmael, continue. Third paragraph.
We acknowledge that the wild world we love best is disappearing. That is why we share a strong commitment to protecting natural lands and waters. Caring for the environment is very important to us.
Wait, repeat. Environment with a V.
Environment.
I'm hearing a W instead of a V. say very. Very.
Very. Very.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. Environment. Environment.
Environment.
Okay. It's better. It's better. Keep going.
We donate our time, services, and at least 1% of our sales to hundreds of environmental groups all over the world who are working to protect and restore the environment.
Much better. Very good, Ishmael. And Anna, let's take the next one, the fourth paragraph. But we also
Yes. But we also know that our business activity from
lighting. Repeat, lighting.
lighting our stores to dyeing shirts creates pollution as a byproduct. So we work strictly to reduce the impact we have and do more than simply comply with the regulations. We
Wait,
use
one second. Simply, repeat,
simply
comply.
comply
Comply
uh,
means to follow the rules, to comply, to follow the rules.
with the regulations. We
Good.
use I can continue?
Yeah, I was just saying good
Okay.
pronunciation. Good.
Okay, sorry. We use recycled polyester in many of our clothes and only organic, rather than pesticide-intensive cotton.
Pesticide.
Pesticide-intensive cotton.
Yeah, keep going, Anna. There's only a sentence left. One last part.
Um,
Staying.
I have to explain
No,
or
continue. Continue. Staying true.
finish. Yes, staying true to our principles during 30 plus years in business has helped us create a company we are proud to run and work for.
Okay, very good, very good. So let's see how I can do this here. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the previous slide and ask the question again. In what ways is the company an ethical business in your opinion? So Yuki, there were several reasons here. Can you give me one or two in your opinion from what you heard in the description?
In what way is a company ethical business? Uh, this company is doing their uh, uh, doing their best to preserve the circumstances and caring for the environment. For example, this company donate their time, services, and at least 1% of their sales to hundreds of environmental groups all over the world.
So one thing they do is they give to charities, in other words.
Yes.
They give to charities. Fantastic. So that is one. There's one thing that they do which is not obvious at all. At least for me, it made me think. It's in the very first paragraph. Anton, you read the first paragraph. What was the environmental thing they did that was not so obvious in the first paragraph? What kind of pollution did they try to tackle? Did you pick that up, Anton? Anton, are you there? Hello, Anton? Did you
Yeah, sorry.
disappear? Ah, there
I
you
was
go, there you go.
I was mute. Okay, sorry.
In the
Uh,
first paragraph, what was the less obvious thing that they did to help make a good impact on the environment? Did you?
Yeah, I guess that is related with the use of any kind of motor
That's
in
right.
the.
Yeah. So we call that noise pollution. They are conscious of noise pollution. What do you think about that? I was a bit surprised because that had never really occurred to me that that would be a kind of pollution. Do you find that surprising in any way?
No,
No. Okay.
yeah, because when here in Spain there is a lot of nature place in which you can view beautiful places, but it's related with the silent too, or only with the nature sounds. And this is the impact that they are trying to avoid using motors.
Right.
Didn't yeah.
So
For,
what's one of the ways that they try to reduce noise pollution? What do you remember, Anton? Because they're a sports store, right? Like Decathlon. They're a sports outfit. So what do they do to try to reduce noise pollution?
Uh, I guess they are recommending to practice some sports that avoid the use of any kind of motor, skiing, snowboarding, surfing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
They promote sports that don't require a crowd and
yeah.
don't require motors.
I
That's it.
disagree.
Say again, Daniel. Repeat.
I disagree
Oh, okay. Why?
because for skiing or snowboarding,
Uh-huh.
you need to clean the mountain,
Right.
but I don't know what to say in English, but mechanical device.
Right. They have to use motorized.
They need electricity
Absolutely.
or gasoline or something.
Right. So they're going to. So let's put that in good English. They're going to expend resources, fossil fuel resources. Expend. Repeat after me. They're going to expend resources. Expend.
Expand
Fossil fuels. That's right. That's on page 5 of the notes.
Okay.
Right? They're going to expend. That means to use. Usually, but use in a negative sense, not use in a good sense. Use badly. Expend. Right? To spend or to use up. To expend. So they're going to expend fossil fuel resources because they have to put gasoline in the whatever machine they use, right? They're going to use electricity. They have to use mechanical things to clear the path, clear the paths for skiing. I agree. Yeah, they're going to have. Well, there's one kind of skiing where you don't do that. There's cross-country skiing. You know, you can ski not downhill, but going cross-country through, like basically going through nature trails. So it's possible that they could get away without it. But I agree, there might be more to the issue than just not using machines.
It's about excuse for me.
Yeah, it could be kind of what we call greenwashing. You heard that before? Greenwashing.
No.
What do you think greenwashing means? You've heard of whitewashing, haven't you? Class, what does whitewash mean? If I say the scandal was whitewashed in the newspaper, what does whitewash mean? Has anyone heard that expression? No one?
The snow, maybe?
No, in this case, it's got nothing to do with the environment. Whitewashing means that you imagine you take a bucket of white paint and whatever the graffiti is on the wall, you throw the bucket of white paint on it and the graffiti disappears. Right? You whitewash the wall. You whitewash it. So we use that as a metaphor sometimes. So what do you think greenwashing is? If whitewashing is covering it up, what do you think greenwashing is? Want to make a guess? What do you think?
To cut tree down.
To cut trees down. Well,
maybe just a PR. No.
Maybe just what? I couldn't hear you.
Company, some company make just disgusting to contribute to the preserving of environment.
So they talk about it, but they don't do anything.
Yes.
Okay.
You're just a PR, no?
PR, right? PR, public relations. You're on the right track, almost. When we say greenwashing, what we mean. Oh, someone's got a loud phone ringing somewhere. I don't know where it is. Oh, it was you. Okay. Listen, greenwashing is like whitewashing. It means, so Yuki, you're on the right track. It means to cover up.
Money washing.
No, not money. No. It means green for environment. It means you cover up something you're doing that is not ethical by pretending to be ethical, pretending to be environmentally friendly. For example, there's some famous environmental companies, organizations that will protect animals. There's a very famous case in a new book, actually, about the environment called "This Changes Everything." That's the name of the book. Um, there's a very famous case where what's getting to be famous, where a company said, "Okay, we're going." It's not a company; it's an organization. We're going to protect this species of bird that only lays its eggs in this area. And then they go to that area and they allow fracking for gas or drilling for oil. So it's true they do try to protect the bird, but they also make some money by subcontracting part of the land for oil drilling, right? So they're greenwashing the activity. They coat it in green paint to make you think it's going to be environmentally friendly, but in reality, they're covering something up. So, to conclude, whitewashing means to cover up. Greenwashing means to cover up with environmentally ethical behavior. It's just PR, it's not real. Is that clear, more or less, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a good expression. You'll hear it in the media. So it's a really good expression to keep in mind. Whitewashing and greenwashing. Let's go back and work on some vocabulary here. So we've talked a little bit about what Patagonia is doing. Here's some of the questions we've talked about. How have the founders influenced what the company does now? Well, we know that they love nature and they wanted to take an active role. We read that in the article. What does the company have a commitment to? Well, we talked about the environmental commitments. Yuki mentioned donating time and money to charities. 1% of the sales go to environmental groups. I asked you about the manufacturing a little bit. Maybe we could clarify that. What points are made about the manufacturing process? From what we read, I want you to go back to the text and tell me, what do they do to make their manufacturing environmentally safe? Does anyone remember? Anna, I think you read that part of the text. Do you remember? What do they do to make their manufacturing environmentally safe?
I read the last part of the test.
You already read it, and do you remember? The answer is there. Number 3. What points are made about the manufacturing process? Go back to part 3. Go back to the part that you read. What did they say about manufacturing in the part that you read, Anna? Do they manufacture using material that's dangerous? Or do they use material that's environmentally friendly, Anna? What do you think?
Sorry, I am lack of vocabulary to speak about this subject.
Anna, you don't need any vocabulary. You don't need any vocabulary at all. Not at all. Look at the paragraph that you read. See it on the screen?
Yes.
Right. That's all you need. Just the words in that paragraph. That's all you need. Look at the last sentence. Can you read it for me again? The last sentence in the penultimate paragraph. We use that part.
In the last paragraph.
In the one before, the penultimo.
Okay.
The last sentence. We use recycled. See it?
Sorry, I can see.
On the screen. Look on the screen. What do you see on the screen? Do you see the words on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Look at the paragraph that begins with, but we also know that our business. See that paragraph?
Sorry, I can see. I can see. I can find.
What do you see on the screen, Anna? What do you see right now?
For example, in penultimate paragraph, we acknowledge that the wild word we love best is disappearing. That's it.
Where is that? We
In the
acknowledge.
less in the left.
Anna, I wrote in the chat box.
Anna, look at the right side. Look at the right side. See it?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Look at the paragraph that begins. But we also know that our business activity.
But we also know that our business activity, from lighting our stores to dying chats, creates pollution as a byproduct.
Exactly. So I would never ask you for vocabulary that you don't know. I would never do that. Everything that you need is I'm giving to you. In that paragraph, they manufacturing. So you don't need to worry, Anna. Don't worry. The vocabulary you need is right there in that paragraph. Can you give me one example of environmentally safe manufacturing? What do they manufacture in that paragraph, Anna?
I don't understand the paragraph.
There's the problem. Okay. What materials, let me ask the class, what materials do they use to manufacture, class?
This company uses recycled polyester.
Exactly, yeah. Do you see that at the end of the paragraph, Anna? Recycled polyester?
We use recycled polyester in many of our clothes and only organic, rather than pesticide-intensive cotton.
Right. Cotton is what in Spanish? Algodón?
Yes.
Okay. So, Anna, what do they talk about in the manufacturing process? They talk about, Yuki said, recycled polyester. So that's safe. It's recycled. And a special kind of cotton. A cotton with no pesticides. So that's what they talk about for question number 3. Is that clear?
Well, in this case, I think that they have changed the product that they use in order to avoid
pollution. In order to avoid
pollution.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So my point, Anna, is you are worried. You don't need to be worried. I would never ask you something that we're learning the vocabulary. You don't have to know it. We're learning it together. It's all in the text. So don't worry. Relax. Everything's fine.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Let's focus a little bit more on the words. Thank you, by the way, Yuki, for putting the text there. I just wanted Anna to see where to look in the text. Yuki, I want you to take the first question here. What we're gonna try to do is use some of the key vocabulary in the text, but I've got a chart for you. So what you need to do is to take phrases from A and B in the column on the right, and use them to fill in the missing the blank on the left side. So you've got to try to create an expression, but we've read this stuff in the text, so it's not completely new. Can you read the first one for us, and let's see if you're able to do it. I'll help you if you need it.
Do most companies in your country always blank, or do they sometimes bend the rules?
That's right. So what we're doing is creating a collocation. By collocation, I mean pattern. Collocation is a fancy way to say word pattern. So you got the verbs in A, take, act, share, and you've got the complements or objects in B, time, responsibility, impact.
I think the most company in your country always comply with regulations, no?
Fantastic. I agree. So number 1 is comply with regulations. That's it. Shadow, do you think you could read number 2 for us and then see if you can create a phrase using the box?
Okay.
Give it a try.
Do you know of any companies that services or money to help local organization?
So you should read the whole sentence first. You should say something like this. Do you know any companies that blank, that's the empty space, services or money? You can just read it as a blank, and then that gives you some time to think. So how could you create, say again? Repeat?
I said donate.
Donate from column A, I agree. And what can you match it with in column B? Donate what? Like we can't say donate responsibility, so it's got to be a different word in B. Donate what, Shadow?
Donate donate time.
Perfect. So read the whole question back to me from the beginning. Do you know
of any companies that donate time, services, or money to help local organizations?
That's it. Very good. So we heard that expression in the text, donate time. Donate time, give money, donate resources. Very good. That's it. Anton, what about number 3? Want to give it a try?
Yeah. How can businesses reduce the impact they have on the environment?
I agree completely. Reduce impact. Daniel, 4?
Why should a company plan a deal with any pollution that is a byproduct of its business activity?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'll give you a hint. This
take
one is
an activity.
take. Repeat.
Take
Take what?
take an activity part in.
Take an
No.
activity?
Take
Not an activity, an active.
no
Active.
inactive no.
Yeah, that's correct. You're right. That's
Okay.
it. Take an active part. So the whole sentence is, why should a company take an active part and the active part in business
Why
activity?
should a company? Mhm.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I just was to repeat. Why
Go
should a
ahead, yeah, do
company
it.
take an activity part? Why should a company take an activity part in and deal
But
with any pollution
but
that
not
is a
activity.
byproduct of
I'm
its
hearing
business
activity.
activity?
But I'm hearing the word activity. It's active.
Active.
Active. That's it.
Active.
Okay, very
Take an
good. That's
active
it.
part in.
That's it. Ishmael, try number 5. Does your company blank?
Does your company blank the life of the local community? If so, what does it do?
You know what? Maybe I made a mistake here. Hold on a second. Why should company? You know what, Daniel? I think I made a mistake.
Yes.
I made
I see.
I made a mistake. Daniel.
Take a strong commitment to.
No.
No.
Ishmael, I think Daniel did.
Yes.
Sounds better in 5. Yeah, that was my fault. Sorry. Ishmael, what would you put for number 4? Because Daniel actually did number 5. Does your company take an active part in the life of the local community? Yeah, that sounds better. What would you say for number 4, Ishmael?
Why should a company blank and deal with any pollution that is byproduct? Reduce the impact?
Why should the company reduce the impact and deal with... No, because you have to say they reduce the impact on something. So it doesn't fit.
Act responsible.
Say again? Repeat?
Act responsible.
Responsible. Blee.
Responsibly.
Responsibly. That's correct. So number 4 is, why should a company act responsibly? Yeah, it fits better. So I apologize. I got my numbers mixed up there. Anna, we're on to you for number 6. What do you think?
Should a company plan and values even if this means a loss of profit?
Uh-huh.
Well, should a company share
I think there's a better choice than share. Remember, this is an expression that we read. So you can always cheat and go back to the, if you want, you can always cheat and go back to the text if you want to skim through it, because all the answers were there. But I'm going to tell you, give you a little hint. Share is not the best choice here. There's a better word. There's a better verb from column A. So you know that it's not comply, it's not donate, it's not reduce, it's not act, and it's not take, because those have been used. So what does that leave you with?
Stay.
Stay. Very good. This is an expression. Stay what?
Stay a strong commitment.
We can't stay a strong commitment. We cannot. We need an adjective. Stay plus adjective. Or adverb, actually.
Stay regulations?
No, we use that. We said comply with regulations. So we can't use regulations. How can we stay? It's got to answer the question how. How can we stay? In what way can we stay? We can stay, for example, we can stay well, but that's not a choice. What do you think, Anna?
Stay time?
Stay time, we use time. We said donate time. So it can't be donate time. We've used it.
Oh, stay responsibly?
Nope.
But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
No, we used it. We said act responsibly. So we used that. We said so far, comply with regulations, donate time, reduce the impact, act responsibly, take an active part in. We've used all that.
Sorry, is a word
in column B.
In A and other match with other in B.
That's correct. That's correct. So, class, help her out. Stay what?
Stay true to its principles.
Stay true, yeah. How can you stay? You can stay true. Just like you could say stay well, you could say stay true. Stay true to its principles. So that's an expression. So, Anna, read sentence 6 with the answer now. Read sentence 6 with the entire thing.
Should a company stay true to its principles and values, even if this means a loss of profit?
Very good. That's it. That's it. We're going to use these questions to do a little interview later on. So remember the answers. We're going to use them again. Okay, and Yuki, what's the last one?
Last one. What company in your country blank protecting the environment? I think share.
Good. Share what? Share what?
Share strong commitment to protecting. No.
Why?
Share,
it's correct.
It's
correct? Fine. Yes.
Yeah. To protect it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
What company in your country share a strong commitment to protecting the environment?
That's it. That's perfect. Okay. We're going to run out of time, but what we're going to do is to take this little questionnaire and we're going to do it as an interview. we're not going to have time today. We're at the end of the hour. But tomorrow, we're going to take these questions. We're going to ask each other to find out a little bit about what's going on in our home countries. We're going to actually use this vocabulary to ask these questions to each other. For example, if I say to you, Shadow, what companies in your country share a strong commitment to protecting the environment? What would you say as an example? Is there one?
Can I invite some countries, or I have to say one through one?
No, I'm really asking you. I'm really curious.
I don't know really.
You're
I don't
you're
know.
you're where? You're in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Or yeah, okay. So Saudi Arabia is not famous for being environmentally friendly, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have environmentally friendly policies. It might. I don't know. I'm just curious. I know, for example, the United States is supposed to, but believe me, in reality, forget about it. Forget about it. Think about the pipeline going from the tar sands in Canada all the way through the United States. Everyone is protesting this, and the only one blocking it is Barack Obama. Like, big business and the president want it. No one else wants it. There have already been accidents. It's like a totally unnecessary pipeline there for fossil fuels. No one wants fossil fuels. Everyone's scared to death about the environment. And despite all the regulations, there's already been major accidents with the pipeline. So millions of gallons of tar sand oil spilling everywhere. So that's an example, you know. Anyway, well, let's do this. Let's take these questions and we'll have a little discussion with them in tomorrow's class. We're also going to work on a second set of here. We're going to work on a second set of vocabulary words. We always get two in these classes. One is usually a set of verbs and then a set of nouns, or a set of adjectives and a set of nouns. So we always get a good basis to talk about ethical issues or whatever the issue is. Tomorrow we're going to listen to an interview. We're going to get the gist of the interview by listening. You've got the transcript on the last page. If you want to cheat, you can always go forward and listen and read at the same time. If you feel like you need more support, you'll listen and read by going to the last page. Then what we're going to do is pick out a set of key words used in the interview that are good responsibility of good adjective words that that would, well, not just adjectives. It can be adjectives that are turned into nouns that will help expand your vocabulary. At the very end, we're going to categorize them, and then we're going to use them in a free speaking activity at the end. Two companies will discuss. We'll discuss two companies and we'll decide how ethical they are using the nouns and adjectives that we've learned. Okay? So that's where we're going to go with this. And I've got a little homework for you to try tonight as well. I'll send it to you. All right. Very good job. Anna, don't worry. Whatever you need to learn, it'll be there it'll be there for you. You don't have to know it before you come to class. We're here to learn. If you already knew the words, you would have no reason to be here. So don't worry. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, we're going to stop now. I'll send you the homework in a few minutes, and I'll see you tomorrow for 2 hours. Great short stories. The last part of Help Me Out, Death in Miami Beach. And tomorrow at the same hour, 11 GMT, the last part of our vocabulary section of ethical business. Okay, bye for now, everyone. Great job.
For now.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye, guys.